Hello, my name's Leah Greenland and today I'm going to talk about conkers. Who didn't play conkers when they were little? You know, screwing a hole through them on a string and hitting them. I mean, this one, if I'd sorted it properly, soaked it in vinegar, baked it in the oven, might have been a 32er, hey? Now, conkers come from the Asculus hippocastanum tree, the horse chestnut tree. Hippo means horse and castanum means chestnut. They are just really, really cool fruits of this tree. There's apparently no scientific evidence to prove that they can repel spiders, but I like to leave them around the house in the corner, and I do feel that I have enough evidence to say that they do repel spiders, because we definitely have less of them when we've got these lying around the house. And interestingly enough, years ago I went to a chateau in France to visit it, Chateau de Septem, if anybody's interested. And the lady who was showing us round had us all guessing, look at the big beams on the ceiling, what are they made of? So everyone was going like, well, oak, because like what else would you make them from? And she said, no, it's horse chestnut. And everyone's like, really? Why would you do that? Well, she said, look at them. Don't they look pristine? And like, to be fair, I don't know how many 100 years old it was, but they looked great. There was no woodworm, no furniture beetle, because apparently innately in the wood, they have this insect repellent stuff. I don't actually know, but that's what I was told. The other thing that you can do with conkers, so I'm going to set this off while I carry on talking. I've got my kettle, I've got my dried conkers, so I'm just going to put some in my little pot. I'm using warm water because I find it just soaks in quicker. You can actually use them as a laundry detergent. Do you remember when soap nuts were all the rage and they'd get shipped halfway across the world to have this like eco-friendly plant-based laundry liquid that, was non-toxic and yada yada. I mean, what a ridiculous thing to do when literally we have conker trees all over the place in England. They're really, really easy to recognise when they're in flower, because they've got like a tall flower and lots of little flowers off. They're called candles. Once you see one, you'll see them everywhere. And actually, the flowers are really, really cool. Once they've been pollinated, the centre changes colour and it goes from like a yellowy, creamy colour to pink. So the bees know which ones to go to, because bees are more attracted to yellow flowers apparently than pink ones. So anyway, go out and collect your conkers. They contain saponins. Sapon is Latin for soap. These literally are like soap nuts. So what you need to do is crush them and take as much of the shell off as you can. I haven't crushed these ones very well. What happened was, it's quite faffy, and to be fair, it's quite therapeutic if you have a hammer and you smash them. But I'd collected quite a lot and I was just getting a bit past it. So I thought, quicker way to do it, work smarter, not harder. I put them in a pillowcase. The whole kind of when you crush biscuits with a rolling pin thing when you're cooking. I'd do the same. So a pillowcase for conkers, and then I drove the car over it a few times. Yeah, it didn't really work. I managed to absolutely wreck the pillowcase, and kind of got slight, not wrong, off Francois, my husband, but nearly, because a car is a tool to get you from A to B, not to squish conkers with. And anyway, squish them up. These are really dry now, and actually once they get to a certain point, well, they're not doing it, but you can just they just come apart, and they will last months, and they'll last you till the next conker season and beyond, as long as you get them dry. That's the really important thing. If there's any moisture in there, they will go go mouldy, and that is not what you want for cleaning your clothes. So dry them out, crush them up, get as much of the brown shell out as you can. I dried them in, I might have done it in the Yaga actually, because I'm fortunate enough to have one. You can do it in a normal oven on low. If you have a dehydrator, you can do it in that. I mean, maybe on a very sunny day, you could lay them on a tray and like get most of the moisture off before you then finish it off in an oven. And then you just put hot water on and leave it to sit. The longer it sits, the more sap and ends you'll get out of them. I use a really it's just a coffee press. I got it free off Trash Nothing. I didn't want to be using one that I was going to be drinking out of. So Conkers are toxic if you ingest them. But in reality, you can touch them. I mean, how many times did you play with them as a kid? You know, you never got ill from them or anything. But I still didn't want to be mixing it with food. If you're worried about using toxic stuff to wash your clothes, I suggest you read the label on your laundry detergent. I mean, most of the boxes have a massive black X in an orange box, and you know, maybe even a skull on it, because you know they have nasties in it, don't they? This doesn't. When this is soaked for, I mean, it depends. These are like fresh ones. It's the first time I've used it, you know, a few minutes, half an hour. The liquid will go a bit sort of yellow creamy, and I'll pour it off into a jar to show you. You will need to use like a full, I mean, I reckon that's like compared to my mug, what, 1.5 mugs worth of content, particularly if you have a large machine and a whole load of stinky teenagers. But I can tell you it works. I told my friend that this is like what I was using for laundry detergent, and she looked at me horrified and she said, "But you don't smell." And I was like, well, you know, thanks. I have hygiene. It does work. When your clothes come out, they don't smell. They don't smell perfumed, obviously, but like they don't smell stinky. They're just like, there's just no smell. They're clean. If you find that a little bit unsettling, because we're used to having all of these lovely fragrances around, you can put, you know, essential oils in. I can show you how to make some lavender water, just to put that fragrance back in. But they come out clean, and you're not putting anything, you know, not proper nasties in. You're keeping it local. I love it. I really, really love it. Now then, let's have a little look. Don't mean soaking that long. Give it a bit of a swirl. Hang on. It's coming. So I will use this full amount for one load of washing. If I had like really dirty clothes, you know, it's been a really hot day, everyone's been perspiring, I'd probably put an extra lot in. I can use this again, but the more you use it, the longer you have to leave it to soak. If when you pour your water in, you're not seeing any bubbles, like it's spent, use a fresh batch. But look at that. I mean, it looks a bit like a manky specimen, doesn't it, really? You've got that slight yellow, cloudy yellow in there. That is what you want to wash your clothes. And it's grand, I promise you.